Hi, this is Jake from Optimus Futures, and in this video, I'll be showing you how to use and customize the watch list on the TT platform. So first off, if you'd like to open up the watch list for options, you'll need to head over to Widgets, down to Options, and then click on the Watchlist widget. Now from here, as you can see, it is a blank widget, but we can begin to populate the watch list with contracts that we like to keep a close eye on by double clicking right here in the gray box. And then from here, we can begin to search for our instrument. So let's say, for example, I'd like to open up the options contract for the E-mini S&P 500 futures. I'll simply type in ES in this field right here, scroll down to the E-mini S&P 500 options for futures, and then press enter. Then as you can see, all the different contracts related to the options for the futures contract of the E-mini S&P 500 will display. Once I do have a contract here or an options contract that I'd like to open up, I simply left click on the associated contract, and as you can see here, it does begin to populate. Now I would like to mention that all my fields here may not be populating because I am running on simulated data. So you may expect this to be populated with a bit more data here when you are running on live. There are a few other features that do shorthand me just a bit, so keep that in mind as well. But when we move on later in the video, I will announce which videos are cut off due to the simulation. But as you can see, we now have one contract added here. If I'd like to display more fields with relevant data to this contract, I can simply right click anywhere within our widget here, and then I'll gain access to the settings for my watch list. Now, as you can see, I can change anything from the colors to the depth of my columns, how the price updates are highlighted. We can bold our font, we can show direct prices, or if we set watch list columns, we can actually go in here and either display the contracts or the specific columns we'd like to display, or we can go in here and disable or enable whatever we'd like. So if we scroll down just a bit, as you can see, we have TT's theoretical value, that which will calculate theoretical value for us. We can activate volume, delta, gamma. There's a ton of different options here, so you can go in here and either uncheck whatever you don't want to be displayed, such as, for example, maybe the last price, and then we can go in here and then we can enable sell edge or buy edge. There's a ton of different possibilities here, but once you have everything displayed as you like, you can simply come down here, you can save, or you can click apply, and then as you can see, the columns that we have just added will all be displayed to the far right here. Again, a few of these columns aren't populated with data because of simulation data, so just again keep that in mind. Now the great thing about the watch list is it is associated with all the other widgets on this platform. So let's say, for example, I also had a trade monitor up, monitoring contracts related to the E-mini S&P futures family. Now as you can see, we do have several instruments here in our trade monitor that are populating. So let's say, for example, I am interested in this specific instrument right here. If I want to, I simply right click on that instrument and I simply send it to watch list. And as you can see, this specific instrument or option that was filled in the market has now been sent to my watch list. Now, another great thing about the watch list is you can actually add manually created strategies directly to our watch list to monitor. So if I open up a strategy creation widget, unfortunately, I won't be able to actually create a widget because, as you can see here, strategy creation is not supported in simulation. But to show you, if I do create a strategy for myself, I can simply create it and then add it to the watch list as well. If I don't want to actually create the strategy, I can simply just press watch and it will add it directly to my watch list. From here, you can place trades directly from this strategy right through your watch list. So if you are the type of trader to either monitor different contracts or options at the same time, and you'd like to create strategies for those options and execute instantly, the watch list is the preferred widget for you. Now, one thing I won't be able to show because it won't populate here is if I do have the RFQ viewer open on live data, I can actually submit a live RFQ directly through my watch list for whatever contract I currently have applied to it. Again, the RFQ viewer won't populate with data because I am running on a simulated server, so just keep that in mind. But if you are the type of trader to utilize RFQs when option trading, please keep that in mind that the watch list can be utilized to do so. Now, the final bit of information that I'll leave you with, and another great feature of the watch list, is that you can actually trade directly through the watch list. If you click either the bid or ask columns, it will open up a floating order entry widget, and you can just place a trade directly through your watch list or your floating order entry widget now here. Again, this will function as your typical order entry widget would expect. If you don't like the floating order entry widget, you can simply right click on the contract, and then you can then launch either a linked MD trader, a chart. You can, if you need to, open up another order ticket, but just keep that in mind that you do have the different options here. And if you would like to create a strategy for a specific contract right here, rather than having to go through the menus, you can just launch a linked strategy creation, which will automatically have our contract that we have already entered on our watch list directly into our strategy creation window. So again, the watch list is a pretty crucial aspect of TT options trading. It pretty much just simplifies everything on the platform and is one unified location in which you can directly access all the features for TT options. That just about does it for this video, and I hope you find it helpful. If you have any further questions on the TT watch list or anything options related to TT, feel free to reach back out to us. Once again, thanks for watching.